What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Bitcoin Cash today. Shout out to the Dragon Riders and the House of the Dragon. You guys, I'm very, very jacked up for this bull cycle. I think things are going to be phenomenal, not just for Bitcoin Cash, but for even for BTC, which I know for a lot of you, it's like la 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 la, I don't care. Even for BTC, and what's good for BTC, what's good for BCH, what's good for the top dogs in the space is good for all the little pups in the space as well. And what's good for all the little pups is good for everybody, because we've all got our hands, we're all dabbling in our various own little interests that we have. But enough about that. That's not what this video is about. It's about Bitcoin Cash. I'm just so jacked up because, and I'm going to pause the music, but because of my most recent video, Bitcoin on track for 58K price. Most of it, at least the first half of it, is probably mainly about just TA, right? And explaining kind of my reasons for certain things, my beliefs as to why I think Bitcoin is going to go lower. But the second half of the video, I got a little bit unhinged there, and I went on as to why I don't believe this cycle, counter to what everybody's saying, I don't believe this cycle is going to be shorter than any cycle. Okay, and I'm just going to briefly kind of tell you why. Everybody's saying this cycle is going to be shorter because we're already above all-time highs for BTC, okay, which would imply that we're further along than where we should be. I go in extreme detail, excruciating detail in that video as to why that's not true. Okay, just because we're above previous all-time highs does not mean we're further along. In fact, I think we're actually even a little bit behind schedule, okay? Or maybe right on schedule, whatever, however you want to decipher it. But just because we're above all-time highs does not mean that before the halving does not mean that this cycle is going to end sooner than other cycles, right? It did not start sooner. It's not going to end sooner. And if anything, the data would suggest that it would actually be longer than any cycle we've seen. That's actually what the data would suggest. So that gets me jacked up for Bitcoin Cash, because that would imply, you guys, we've got a whole year and a half left of upside to go. It's a lot of time. It's a lot of time. Specifically, I think Bitcoin Cash, it could be because it does sometimes hop off before Bitcoin. Maybe it's in June of 2025. Maybe it goes into January of 2026, whatever. That is a lot of time to grow, man. That is a lot of time to grow. It doesn't look like it on this chart, but man, let's just see here, right? From this high to the low point that we had there, just kind of drawing based off of that time. If we were to, I suppose, put it here. So I know this looks weird, okay? But if we were to put it at the beginning phases, okay, the low point, assuming that it was over here, if we were to invert this or invert it, reverse it, whatever, just go with me. If it's a bit of a head scratcher, I don't know. This would be at this price, okay? And if you're looking at the bar itself, it's only literally 1 month longer, okay, maybe 2 months longer than where we are now. So that would be sometime in this space. If that makes sense. Does that make sense to you guys? It's because I drew it backwards because it was a downside move instead of an upside move. If that makes sense. Hold on. I wonder if I can remedy this, because maybe I'm being confusing. Let's see. Invert the scale. We'll draw the line like this. Okay. Scratch my head long enough, and you know what? Maybe we should get the actual the move itself. Not the technical high, but the move itself. Okay, so we have this line. Please, when I invert the scale, don't revert back. It did. Dang it. That doesn't help. Okay, I'm just trying to say, man, we could move, within this range. That would send us up to about 8K or higher, and that's if we're on the same kind of pace that we were for this bear market. You guys, I think that the bull market, this cycle, we're going to be at even more extreme pace than we were for the bear cycle. That's all I'm trying to say. I think that we absolutely could see Bitcoin Cash above 10K, above 13K, even above 20K by the end of this cycle. I think we have more than enough time to do so. If that didn't convince you, I can understand why, because it might be, it wasn't really that well displayed. Let's go to BTC. Maybe not on Coinbase. We'll do the index, okay? We were at prices as low as 162, okay? And we went all the way up there to about 20K, 19.8K. We did 12,124% in growth, okay? We did that in one cycle. Specifically, though, from that low point to that high point, 28 months. Okay, we go back to BCH. Where would 28 months put us? From, what was it, 160? Let's just take our lows. We're down at 90, sure, 90. 28 months would put us smack dab right in the middle of this range, you guys. Right in the middle of this range. And we did start from lower prices, but we've been consolidating around these prices. I'm just saying, man, if Bitcoin can do it, why can't BCH do it? And if you want to take it from that low, we could also take it from that high. $304 instead of $160. However you want to cut it, whether you want to be like, well, that's too low, it's not going to grow as much. Well, I'll raise you one and say, well, in that same amount of time, we were actually at double that price. So should we be even more than the previous cycle? And I do think we will. I think that we're going to be, I say previous cycle, man, I'm all over the place. I feel like I'm being very confusing. When I say previous cycle, I mean the 2017 cycle for Bitcoin. Okay. If Bitcoin could do it from 160, why can't Bitcoin Cash do it from 300? Or, you know, at the beginning of the month, $90, whatever. A range that we've been consolidating around for years, for cycles, multiple bear cycles, and breaking out of it potentially this bull cycle, right? Technically, even multiple bull cycles. But I very much do believe that we will see prices at new all-time highs, okay? That's not just at this all-time high here at 4,300. That's not just at this all-time high here. That's at like 13K to 23K, maybe higher than that, right? This gives us a little box right here. I feel like I've really gone off the rails. I feel like I'm not explaining or sounding well, but hey, man, whatever. We're too deep into it now to care. So let's just see. That box, man, that golden box up there, that's where we're going. That's the target. That's the backboard. We're shooting our free throw. We're going to hit that backboard gloriously, and we're going to cash out while riding our dragons in the sky, man. That's where we're going for the end of the cycle. Now, enough about that. Let's talk about the more immediate stuff. Let's get back on track. Did I pause the music? I think I did pause the music. Let's get back on track. Okay. I know. I love talking about all the bullish stuff as much as you guys do. Let's put it up there one last time, okay? That's the trajectory we're on. We've never done anything like that before in Bitcoin Cash's history, but newsflash, you guys, I think we're going to do a lot of things that Bitcoin Cash has never done in its history as far as price growth goes. You know, it was a big deal. It was such a big deal when actually, I don't even know. I might be making this up in my head. Let's see. El Salvador politicians. Did I spell that right? I don't know. Paid in BTC. Are they? It's got bonds, but I don't think they're actually paid. You know, there are politicians. Bitcoin, El Salvador's Bitcoin president heads for re-election. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if they get paid in BTC. I don't know that for sure, but I do know that is it the prime minister or the president, whoever's in charge, whoever's the head guy of St. Kitts. I watched the video with Roger Ver. I remember when it happened. He gets paid his salary in Bitcoin Cash. If that, you guys, think about this for a second. If that was any other crypto that's not widely just hated because it's the better Bitcoin, if that was any other crypto, it would have a crown on it. People would be worshiping at it, literally kissing the ground that it walked on. But because it's Bitcoin Cash, that went under the radar. Nobody cares. But you guys, people saying that Bitcoin Cash is a failed project or that it is a wannabe Bitcoin. You guys, I think Bitcoin wants to be Bitcoin Cash. How big of a deal would it be if there was a political figure who was taking their salary in BTC or in any crypto for that matter? I'm just saying BCH literally has that I think it's the prime minister of St. Kitts. I don't know what the term is for that, but I remember watching the video. If he doesn't take it in Bitcoin Cash anymore, I mean, that's news to me. But last I checked, that was the truth. Roger made the deal himself, as far as I know. And you guys, we got Roger Ver. We got the guy himself, Bitcoin Jesus. We literally do. He might not claim the title, but he is the evangelist of crypto, of Bitcoin. He literally spreads the good word of the good coin all around. And it used to be for BTC, now it's for BCH. He does that for this thing. He didn't make it up. This isn't his coin, but this is the coin that he favors, and that's powerful. That's very powerful. I'm going off on a total different direction of this video than I meant for it to. I'm not trying to kiss Roger's boots or anything, but man, Roger Ver, if you see this, man, props to you, man. A lot of props to you. But what I'm trying to say, guys, before I get off on a whole, I don't even know what that is. I think we're going lower. Okay, I think we are going to go lower. I do. Let's look at the daily here. Wow, we already went to 488, you guys. Whoa. Okay, maybe we don't go lower. Wow. I have not been paying attention. Holy crap. Oh, let's see. You guys, I don't know if this is good or bad. I would say it's good. Okay, this kind of comes in line with what I was saying the other day in my BCH video. I want to make sure the music's paused. I was saying that I think we're going to find our low sooner than later, right? If we had a whole consolidation phase, it'll probably be, I mean, literally, we did the math last time. You can watch my previous Bitcoin Cash video. We did the math. It was like 11.7% to, I think, 17% or something like that of the total consolidation phase that it took. It was like 11.7 or 17. I forget what the percentages were. Less than 20%, over 10% of the time that we consolidated is how long it took for us to find our low. So in that kind of respects, we found our low in 7 days. If that's 11%, I mean, I guess we would times 10 that, right? That'd be 70 days. It could be, 70 days. I mean, maybe longer than that. It could be until June. It could be until July that Bitcoin Cash breaks out again. Now, I will say one thing. This, to me, seems like a pretty damn tight range for BCH, something as squirrely as BCH, to be in. So that means one of two things. One, for that long at least. One, we're going to break out. We're going to go higher right now. BCH is unstoppable, and I would love to see that. We're bouncing off of previous areas that we've bounced off before. I would love to see that. I think we all would. Or two, and the thing that we might like to see, but it's not as encouraging, but I wouldn't mind seeing it. I'm definitely a little bit surprised. I wanted to have some more money in order before I saw these prices this low, but hey, whatever. The sooner the better. The second thing that could happen is that we go lower. We're not done yet, okay? And that very well could be the case. We could go, again, I did say as low as like 430 is what I would give it, but I don't think that we'd go too much lower. I mean, to be fair, we could even go below 400 and still technically be fine. I just don't think that we're going to. Curious, man. Very curious. Too unhinged on this video, man. I'm trying to get back on track. We do have hidden bullish divergence on the weekly RSI. Okay. The weekly RSI looks really strong, man. Higher, no, that's not really that straight of a line. Let's just use the straight line. You know, we could go lower and still be fine. It's a very productive looking weekly RSI. It's a very strong looking RSI. We do have the weekly bearish divergence, which technically has yet to play out. It could have, but technically it would play out if we hit 471. Being that we've dropped this much in the last 24 hours, it's so kind of like early, in my opinion. I would assume that we have a little bit more to go, just a little bit. But I mean, look at how it bottoms out, right? It likes to do this big flash crash with a decent wick on it. Big flash crash with a decent wick on it, right? It didn't find a lower low after that. Big flash crash with a decent wick on it, you know. Maybe that was the low. And maybe we don't need to go lower than that. Even though that's the weekly close, maybe we don't need to go lower than that there. Maybe there's so much buying pressure. Who knows the reasons? Let's see. Relative low to high. Kind of at an area that Bitcoin Cash does like to bounce around. I did say in my last video, you can see that I talked about the 6-9 area being something that Bitcoin Cash is very attracted to, but it's also attracted to the area not specifically on the 0.5, but a little bit above it or a little bit below it. We did exactly that, pairing up with the fact that we're at near like this daily high close here, near but not quite at the weekly high close. I mean, it's not a bad thing. It's definitely not a bad thing. But again, it wouldn't surprise me, and it shouldn't surprise you either if we go lower. The weekly RSI, doesn't demand it, but it would look okay if it did that, right? It would look okay if we went down to about 57 or 60, something like that, which right now we're at about 64. That doesn't seem like a big drop, but I mean, from 541 down to like 460, that might feel like a bigger drop than it actually is. But also in respects to that, that is the golden ratio itself down there at about 460. We oftentimes don't bounce right off it. We do go a little bit through it down to the 0.69 level. That's where that 435 area comes in. Any and all of that's possible. And again, we could go as low as like 378. This 886 area could hold as support. I very much doubt that we would break this low. I don't think that that's going to happen. I want to look at BCH versus BTC. Man, I feel like I was so silly in the beginning of the video. And I'm trying to be very serious now. Down 18% versus BTC this week. We're already up, I think, today, though, up 1%. Stuff like this happens, you guys. It is definitely standard volatility for BCH. BCH and BTC are just as volatile as BCH is with the USD. Still a higher low. Looking at the RSI, the weekly RSI, it still looks pretty damn constructive in my opinion. We do have 2 days left. If we were to close higher, we would be set up for a nice bounce off of this 60 area, and we absolutely could close this week higher and do that. Bitcoin Cash does like to top out before Bitcoin normally, and it also likes to bottom out before Bitcoin as well. So perhaps we've seen that. Perhaps we've not only seen the high, but we potentially have seen the low. High to low here on a strong move, finding support at the 382 area. It all makes sense to me, man. Let's draw a horizontal line right at the point where we found support. Kind of at this bottoming area. You guys, we could go a little bit lower. We absolutely could. But for BCH versus BTC, I don't think we'll go below 0.007. We're at 0.008 now. So 0.1% from here is as low as I think we could go. And that could put us in range with this 50 area on the weekly RSI, and that'd be a nice area to bounce off of. I mean, the last time we did that, it was pretty friendly to us. Maybe we could wick down to the green line again. Maybe we could go lower, but I wouldn't think that we would close lower than about 0.007% of a Bitcoin. I don't know if I have anything else I want to add, man. I want to take this low again. I don't know. Maybe this. Let's see. Hold on. We can put the ribbon on there. I don't know, man. I kind of like, I don't like that. I don't like the looks of finding resistance at the 886. That would imply we go to the 0.0073, potentially lower, around that 0.007 area. We could go lower. And if we do, so what? It's okay. The 4-hour looks abysmal. It would call for lower prices in the more immediate term, but being this oversold right now, I would assume we're near the end of this move, at least relatively speaking. Though BCH might continue to drop versus the USD, I wouldn't assume that it loses value versus BTC as much. You might see things like BTC start dropping more than BCH in the coming days or weeks, as kind of counterintuitive as that sounds. And if I'm wrong, well then, okay, I'm wrong. That can happen too. Looking at the 4-hour here, same kind of thing. It actually looks very similar to the BTC chart. It's actually more bearish. That might have been the low, guys. That might have been it. If that low there yesterday wasn't the low at 488, which I don't know where I was, man. This is my first time seeing that. I haven't looked at the charts. I've looked at the charts, but I've checked. I shouldn't even say that. I've looked at the prices. I've checked in on the prices, but I haven't been doing charts today, which is a little bit not normal for me. I was kind of hanging out with my daughter all day, just like, and then cleaning a little bit here and there, not really looking at the charts as much as I normally do, or at least not on BCH. Because I don't remember that, man. I didn't know we went as low as 488, man. That's awesome. That's crazy. If we were to go lower on the daily, that wouldn't be crazy at all. It could happen, but also if we bounced here, we have bounced in this general area a lot. Like a lot, excluding this time here and this time here. We bounced once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. Could this be the 5th time? I think so, man. I think so. And if not, we get oversold, whatever, we go a little bit lower. Either way, however you want to look at it, however you want to cut it, we are very near the lows. If that wasn't it, it's only going to be a little bit more below. We're very near the lows, time-wise and distant-wise. If not, we've already found it. So good job, BCH, man. Good job. That's awesome. When did this happen? What time was it, actually? I think that's, if that's 6, that would be 2. So that happened before. Okay. What did BCHG do? It didn't drop that much. I'm kind of surprised. I mean, it did. It had a decent day down, 5%, but and the day before that, 17.9%, but it didn't drop that much. That's kind of interesting. I bet it drops more. Oh, but it's Friday. Huh. I wonder how the weekend is. Will this weekend be kind to us for Bitcoin Cash as the weekends have been kind to us previously? I wonder. Because, yeah, last Saturday was 5% to the green. The Saturday before that, we were actually 3% to the red. And then the Saturday before that, we were 5% in the green again. And the Saturday before that, 6%. Okay, so they're alternating. All right, so maybe this Saturday will be bearish. Maybe we do have lower to go. I don't know. I keep scratching my head, you guys. I keep going back and forth. This has been a lot of like open line of thinking, but if I really had to guess, if I really had to put my money on the line and give a directional heading, I'm going to put this video out soon, so that way it doesn't just make the move down there. But I think we will see prices below 470 before this move is said and done. With that being said, this absolutely could be the low. It absolutely could. I don't think that it is, though. I think that we do go lower. Yeah, man, that's really, I like that. It's as big of a dump as that is, if that was the low, holding right above the 1618 is a real testament of strength, actually. Bouncing off of this area in the RSI, instead of getting oversold, you're bouncing off the 40 area. That's also a testament of strength. But maybe, I don't know, maybe tomorrow or over the days, I mean, maybe we move up from here, immediately speaking. We could go back as high as like $600 or the 580, 590 area and then move down lower. But maybe that does hold as a low in the RSI. I don't know. And maybe when we get down here to this area or lower, whatever, anywhere in this zone, maybe it's a wick as it normally is. And you can go back and look at all the relative lows for Bitcoin Cash that it's held, right? As it normally is, it's a pretty big wick. We probably would wick down and then come back up to close the day higher. Thus, the RSI might look like it's reaching for the oversold zone, but by the time it closes, we're actually not oversold. That's a pretty big wick there. It's not as big, versus the body as some of these bottoming candles have been. It's not as big as that, but it's still pretty big, so I don't know. I think we're getting there. I just don't think we're there yet. I wonder. I'm really close to being done, I swear. Above average volume there. Not dramatic volume, but above average volume there. This would be the one time, and above average volume there. We actually did not have above average volume, so again, kind of another testament as to why I think we could go lower. But Bitcoin Cash is a squirrely dragon. It likes to be frisky. We could move up to like 620, 640, even all the way back to 660 and still go lower. So definitely short-term plays to be made here. If I was looking to buy, this is a perfect area to DCA. We're well below $600. I actually did have some buy orders set, but man, I was trying to get some money in order to buy literally at these prices, and I just didn't have it set up yet. I'm gonna have to wait. Oh, I might not get the oh man, I'm going on vacation. I might have to go through other sources. I don't know. I'm thinking too much right now. Enough of that. I'm gonna end the video. If you guys like the video, hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more. Thank you for coming, and I will see you on the next one. Bitcoin Cash probably does bounce from here. It probably does start moving up from here. That's my thoughts. Probably even above $600 is on the table. If not, somewhere around 580 to 600 could be the area that we go to. Probably up from here and then lower. Do not be fooled. I do believe that we will go lower than this low. Even if we see a move up like that, we probably will. And I don't think we'd go up that high. But even if we did, it'd still be a lower high. I do think we're going to go below this low. How much lower? I don't know. I would say at least 470, if not maybe around 435, and we do have the opportunity, the possibility to go lower. I love calling moves down opportunities because that's exactly what they are. If you have your head on right and you're not panic selling, it's an opportunity to buy from the people who are panic selling. Because unfortunately, guys, this is a game you versus me, me versus you, us versus them. And who are them? They are us. They are people, every single one of us, people who are participating in Bitcoin Cash. Every person who bought down here bought it from somebody who panic sold down here, right? Every person that bought up here bought it from somebody that sold at a perfect price, you know. So we are playing this game against each other. So unfortunately, that's kind of the price of glory. If we are to go down and scoop this up at some sick prices, you're going to be buying it from some people who will be feeling sick once the prices do this. But hopefully that's not you. Hopefully that's not me. I don't think it will be. If you've been watching the channel, you guys should be well prepared. And then also, I just feel like a lot of you guys that, at least that are like diehard Bitcoin Cash fanatics, you guys are aware of where this thing is going to go anyway. So you're not going to get shaken out by a move, even if it went down below $400. You know, so opportunities abound, opportunities await. Just be patient. I think they will come. I'm not convinced that's the low. I do accept it as a possibility, though. And with that, I leave you. So if you like the video, hit that like button. Subscribe if you want to see more. Thank you all for coming. Peace.